empty windshield. Oh, good evening, good morning. Take your pick. Look at how big that, you can't see it really. It's the biggest vet center being built in Northeast Ohio, I think. 35,000 square feet. You pick morning. Steve. Are you still out? John. Well, they'll have to catch me. Oh. Gasoline out by the airport, $3.18 a gallon. Oh, I didn't think I could have gone the other way. I just thought about that now. No, I have to go this way. I don't have to go this way. Gotcha. Well, I just did one mission. Another one here. Took me out there by the airport, so I got the cheap gas. Yeah, we'll be out of here in a minute, hopefully. Be right back. Keep everybody company. Hello. We're back. Oh, we gotta go there now. Got to get to a locksmith and get a key made. I keep forgetting. How's everybody this morning?
Folks that you might be familiar with and how they were connected to this story. Then we'll take your calls and questions and comments from my guests. We'll be right back with more Coast to Coast AM. Right now, every business is trying to nickel and dime you. How much squeeze you to offset their... That's why I love Pure Talk.
What the heck is that radio doing? Oh. Oh shoot, I was really tired today. I don't know why. I was tired. Hey Rob, West Side, the best side. I'm on Triscuit. Already was all over Strongsville and Middleburg Heights. Now I'm back here. There's only one really. There's two really right now. Because you live on the east side and there is nothing. The only thing there is Best Gyro Takeout up on Lee Road or East Cleveland. But there used to be a bunch on the west side, but now there's only really one good, better one. That's my friend's. 116th in Detroit, 117th in Detroit. And then there is the Steve's Diner on Bidoff at Memphis in the what do they call it, the Bidoff Plaza or whatever. And that's not bad. I go there for breakfast a lot, and I've had their chicken club sandwich. It's pretty good. I get the farmer skillet there, which is just really tasty. They got good coffee. Steve's Diner. So that's what we got on the west. Oh, and there is a third place on the west side, but go there maybe strapped. Diana Baker's Deli, West 46th and Store, in the hood. That place is risky. Even for the food, it's risky. Even for eggs, I think. It's a storefront in an old house. I ate there once. Yep, those are pretty much it. Yeah, the east side, you know, I've always said the way my life has been, if I lived on the east side, I would always be on the west side because there's nowhere to eat. Nowhere to eat on the east side, unless you go to Menor and go to Denny's. Who wants to do that? And now we have nowhere to shop because of COVID. I don't know that we'll ever get 24-hour stores again other than drugstores. That's really terrible. I mean, it's terrible. It makes people spend more money, you know. I mean, COVID fucked us up a lot, man. Messed a lot of stuff up we had just right. But I don't think Giant Eagle or any of these places are going to ever come back 24 hours. Save a lot. None of them. It's pretty sad. We've gone back in time. We got everything that California kind of had, but now we've lost it all. Because California's had 24-hour stores since the 70s. Well, I got the car topped off for the first time. First full tank of gas. Got that $3.18 a gallon gas. It was $3.15 last night, but I didn't have any cash on me, and I forgot. I totally forgot. I could have just gone to the drugstore and taken out some money at the ATM there for free. Well, Waffle House, Medina. You'd have to just look on Google Maps, but the only one I know of is that I've eaten at is Waffle House route down there at Route 1871. Right there at the exit. That's the only Waffle House. If you like to take a drive, maybe the truck stop in Lodi is 24 hours again, just to take a drive. I've done that just to take a little bit of a drive and go somewhere different. I go to my friends a lot. Steve's, I've been getting in there more often lately. During the day, I mean, the west side's got plenty of places. So does the east side. Lodi, yeah. That place is not the same after COVID. What the heck's going on there? Somebody's giving somebody a ride. Beep, beep. Yeah, no, I stopped in at Lodi last year once, and it had completely changed since COVID. It was not the same. Something definitely flipped. For a second I thought I was going to Taco Bell because I could see a car already hanging out of the damn parking lot, and I'm like, no, I'm not getting in that line. No, I'm going up here where hopefully it's not as bad. Oh, it's pretty bad. Rallies, it's pretty busy. Son of a bitch, I shouldn't have took this. Hopefully they'll be moving. This is terrible. I hate having to sit in lines with cars running when they have a window, but they won't use it after hours. It's terrible. Park your car, man. Be able to turn it off. Not burn fuel. No, we can't do that. What? Oh, get all these cars. Frickin' A. Even Fredo's pissed. Shit. Why did I take this order? I don't know. Because there wasn't anything else out here. How long have these people been waiting? That's the other thing. Damn, glasses are terrible. Oh. Most likely. Not that many people live, on YouTube, I don't think. A lot of, yeah, well, I mean, I did it for 6 years on Periscope, and, I don't want to do Facebook, that's because that's a limited audience. Even though it's a big audience, it's still a limited room because you got to be a member. I could do it on Twitter. I could go live on Twitter, and I mean, I should try it. And I've tried Twitch. I haven't gotten that near as many people. I mean, I should try it more often, but well, yeah. If you go to my Linktree page. It says it in my bio, but you can't click on it yet. It's not clickable yet. I don't have enough people. It's in my bio. If you know what link trees are. I'll show it to you if it ever loads. Cars are moving. Promising. There's my link tree. It's got all the buttons. On here, yeah, you have to have 1,000 to do the super chat, and 500 is the first goal. Get to 500, then I can start posting pictures and other stuff under the community tab. But just go to my Linktree page. You can keep fueling the car, feed me, whatever you want. Send me on a drive to Florida if you got enough money. If I had enough money, I would drive to Florida right now to see the rocket go up. That would be amazing to see in person once in my life. See a big rocket go up. Thank you, Rob. All right, what was I looking for? Oh, we're making progress. Nice. This isn't too bad so far. Pretty easy order. No drinks. Look at Oh, we gotta wait. I see what's going on. Hello. I thought you were getting served. You're making us wait.
Yep, very much.
Swingy R. Swingy R.
Okay, give me 1 second.
What a name. Oh, we're ready. Look at that, man. I am lucky tonight.
There you are, man.
Thank you. I got lucky. Those other cars are going to go, what the fuck? Where we got to go here? This one goes... Okay. How should I go to get to this place? Alright. Alright. We got a route in my head. Already had my piece of cold pizza. Except it wasn't cold, it was nuked. It's the beauty of some of the 24-hour gas stations like Speedway, they have a microwave. Had my chocolate milk already. Did that driver just go through that red light? Did that tow truck just go through the red light? I blinked for a second. I think he did. That's pretty belligerent. That's pretty wrong, man. It's pretty wrong. I'd have to go back and look at that. Did anybody see that or not? I don't know. Pretty sure he did. Some of these wrecker drivers at night are pretty bad. What company was that? I saw the truck name, but I don't remember. I'm not going to be able to see his truck name now. He's getting on the highway. Yeah. See, that would be a good clip if I could remember what name he was, especially. I cut that clip out and make a short video out of it.
Well, I do think I've interviewed, I can't even tell you how many women who have been raised in it, are in it, have escaped from it. And, you know, if it works, it can work well, where you've got sister wives who are helping you all. You know, you're talking about having, you know, say 4 or 5 wives or 50 children, so it's nice to have help with them. And the husbands, you know, have visitation rights with the different wives from, you know, I mean, they alternate. Most of them, you know, are in the polygamous relationships. They're pregnant from the time they're able to get pregnant until they're no longer fertile. and during the time that they're carrying their babies, they don't have sexual relations with their husbands. So basically, they're pregnant from 13 till 45, and that's quite a burden to bear. And
Just a baby machine.
Then you see these kind of dramatized, isn't it happy we all get along? And apparently in some families that works. But I think in general, like I said, I'm not a polygamy scholar, but I think in general, you can't separate the natural tendencies of human nature as far as jealousies and rivalries, when they're competing with each other for, who's the favorite wife, who's got the biggest house, who's got, the husband controls all of the economics of the family, and so naturally there are rivalries, and it's my experience in the interviews I've conducted that it's not always as congenial as it seems.
Sally Denton, knowing you as I do, and the tenacity with which you pursue these kinds of stories, I can't imagine you would ever let go of this one. I mean, you're still working on angles on the Bluegrass Conspiracy, I would imagine, after a couple of decades. I wish you good luck in wherever this story leads you, and I hope you'll come back, keep us in the loop for whatever your next project is.
Absolutely, George. Thank you. I really appreciate the opportunity. It's been fun.
It has been fun, and we'll be in touch. The Colony is a great book. Hope you folks check it out. Thank you to Sally Denton. We move on to Russ Coltart in a moment here, and we go into the break with Clayton's Clearwater Revival, as long as I can see the light.
Snacks are on the way. Hello there, Gina. Welcome. Welcome to Cleveland. I've got some very good friends living in Vegas. Well, I've got two sets of friends living in Vegas now. Get lucky here, we might get a little bit of a long trip, one I haven't done in well over a year. We'll see after we get a little further west here. Oh. Passing by the airport on the left. Oh, excuse me. We're on Interstate 480. Where are we going? Get off there, go up there, go up there. Can't believe how quickly I got through that rallies with all those cars. There is no rallies out here, is there? I don't think. Oh.
Don't wait until the IRS attacks your wages, bank account, your home or pension, or even your social security check. Tax Alliance specializes in IRS tax relief programs, including the Fresh Start Initiative, which can finally free yourself from IRS debt. Their tax professionals can file returns, fight the IRS to substantially lower your IRS debt, or possibly even have it forgiven. If you owe the IRS $10,000 or more in back taxes, have unfiled taxes.
Someday, maybe I'll finally have satellite radio. At least I'll have a few choices of talk radio instead of just like one.
North Carolina, Chuck.
Also known acknowledgement by the intelligence community of any potential harm that could be caused by these missing documents, which prosecutors said on Friday included human source intelligence, information gathered from foreign
Stinky.
national defense intelligence. The
Wastewater treatment plant is stinky.
This documentation is quite high. Some of them the highest level of security and secrecy that the US government affords. Mr. Trump denies anyone doing world news from the BBC. The President of Colombia has called on the country's armed groups to join a multilateral ceasefire and indeed wage peace talks. Gustavo Petro made the appeal during a visit to the northwestern region of Ituango, where violence between guerrilla fighters is rife. The President said he'd received letters from most all the armed groups.
North Olmsted, Ohio.
The former president of Angola, José Eduardo dos Santos, will be buried in Rwanda today after a state funeral. The ceremony will be attended by many African heads of state, as well as the Portuguese president. After fighting as part of the MPLA guerrilla movement during the war against Portuguese colonial rule, Mr. dos Santos went on to rule the oil-rich country for nearly 40 years. He died in July. His funeral comes after a family dispute over where he should be interred. At least 23 people have been killed on Saturday during clashes between political factions in Libya's capital, Tripoli. The US ambassador in Libya, Richard Norland, urged UN calls for an immediate ceasefire and appealed for talks between the conflicting parties. Azadeh Moshiri has more. Libya is a country torn in two, and this is coming after a months-long standoff between these two rival political factions. Now, the situation is that in Tripoli, you have a UN-recognized government with its own Prime Minister Al-Dabeiba, and yet in the east, you have a rival parliament that's appointed its own Prime Minister months ago, Prime Minister Bashar. And this is coming, of course, after months of tensions. This is the worst violence the country has seen in perhaps 2 years. The governor of the Mexican state of Sinaloa says the body of a missing radio announcer has been found in a canal in the town of Mazatlan on the Pacific coast. Candida Crystal Vasquez had been reported missing by her family in late July. That's the latest BBC News.
So much violence against journalists anymore. Pretty sad. $3.59 a gallon. $3.49 a gallon. Haha, I got it for $3.18 a gallon. Alright, where do we turn here? Oh, did I miss my turn? I hope not. Oh, I think that was it. It was way quicker than I thought. Oh. Way quicker. Alright, where are we going here? Where is this? Right here. We're in the burbs. I don't usually deliver in the burbs. I'm usually in the city or the first ring suburbs, not the second or third. Alright, where's the stop at?
The customer requested you leave the order at their door. They added the following instructions. Leave at my door.
Get the right one here. Oh, I completely screwed up. Look at that. Look at what I just did. See what I get for doing these double orders? I can't believe I did that. Can't believe I did that. That's what I get. Every now and then I do this. I forget to look at the damn maps, see which order is really where, instead of following what they want you to do. Damn other order is right back the other way. Unbelievable. Oh, fool. Oh man, I gotta. This would have been fine if I would have done the other order first. Now I'm wasting time. Shit. Dang it, dang it, dang it. How do I want to do this now, this stupid mess I just put myself in? Where am I at on this map? Oh, you pinhead. Where are we at? Oh. Can't get there from here. Dead end this way. Damn it, I hate that. Twice I didn't pay attention and check which route was closer, because I'm allowed to choose. But did I choose? No. Here. Westlake, Ohio. I hate when I do that. And I hate when their stupid system doesn't figure that out for you. Really should. What? What am I looking at? Look at all the cones. Somebody's been painting the road. Costs me money, makes me feel like an idiot. Let's see here. Can I do that? All right. Time warp bar. Get-go. So, if anybody's still awake, do you like just watching, or do you like commentary, or all of the above? Just watch. Alright, what am I doing here? It'd be so nice to get this other delivery. Absolutely. It's a single family residence. Just one back door. So, am I putting it between the doors or actually opening the door to put it inside? Thank you. they take me that way? Map makes no sense. It's not one way. Oh, it is a one way. Okay. Some nights it never stops. It's amazing. You know, the first order out in the burbs was just a juice drink and a bag of chips. I mean, it's crazy what people order in the middle of the night. Some nights it's insanely busy. Oh, they did close that drugstore. That's a shame. I wonder why. It's bad when stores close in neighborhoods like this. Well, it depends what's available on the app. You know, what you can order from, you know, places like CVS or Walgreens, or from 7-Eleven, or directly from Dashmart, which is DoorDash's own store. So they have all kinds of stuff there also. If you wanted to order grocery items, you need to shop on Instacart. You need to use Instacart. I should have turned on Desmond. I'm not thinking. I should have took Desmond. Well. Instacart does full service shopping. And I shouldn't have come this way, but I passed my quick turn. I never come down Baltic anymore. That's my rule. I just never do. No, Instacart's just during the day. No. At nighttime, the only thing you've got is DoorDash and Uber. And I don't think Uber does any shopping, really. DoorDash does the things I said before. Going here. And if you do the DoorDash thing, you can put a substitution in case there's not the first item available. Everything's not always available. Where are we going here?
The customer requested at their door. They added the following instructions. Leave at my door.
Alright. Dial 911 if I don't come back or you hear loud noises. Alright. Success. I feel like a fool though. I would have not wasted as much time on that order. Where are we at? Yeah, it's gotten quiet out now. It's late. Wish they would give me this other order I'm trying to get, but take that in a second. Rough neighborhood down here. Dark up here. All the lights are out. Yeah, the only place to open here is Taco Bell. Dismiss. I hate delivering over here. Well, like I said, Taco Bell. How many people are in line, though? Wait a minute. Which Taco Bell? Oh, another one. Oh, you dummy. I overthought that. It's not that one. It's the other one. Oh. First map, it looked like the other one. Didn't I just come down here? They're not going to give me this other order, damn it. That's paying really good money. Well, there's nobody in line. That's good.
We're closed.
Not even for DoorDash?
No.
Unbelievable. Thank you. They sent me here for nothing. Because their system is stupid and doesn't know that the place is closed. Alright, what are we saying here? Alright. Well, that was a quick few bucks. Way out there, huh? Like I said, 7-Eleven. All right. If I get off there. All right, let's get out of here. Terribly bumpy parking lot. What's the quickest way? I don't know. This hour of the night. I'm gonna go the other way.
Pandemic or COVID, I had 2 kitchen staff and I only come in the kitchen when it's busy. Those were the days.
And what are the days like now?
Sadly, we are recovering very slowly and business is not that great. So we've lost a lot of business because of the pandemic. Yeah. Well, here comes the boss, Fraser. Come say hello. Come say hello, Fraser.
Teresa, hello. Terry's just showing me around your kitchen and telling me that it's just him in here now.
Well, yes, because we're doing less hours, so making it manageable.
Are you out in front talking to customers? Is that your job?
It is now. It used to be his job since I retired from nursing, so this is I'm helping out.
Doesn't sound like a very relaxing retirement.
No, it's not. Blame him. He hasn't planned. No exit plan.
Terry is clearly very at ease in the kitchen and has offered to cook us lunch. Sometimes I really love my job.
Wow. I mean, that is not messing around that range, is it? That
That's
is.
a turbo fat.
While Terry gets his kitchen all fired up, Teresa, tell me about your restaurant. When did your father start it?
1968. He came to the UK maybe a year before, and then he and a couple of friends opened the UAT then. Over the years, gradually, one by one, this is when they did their own thing, so we ended up with it. And he retired when he was in his, maybe late 60s, and that's when Terry took over. So my dad taught him everything he knows.
Was that always the sort of continuity plan for the restaurant, that you two would become so involved?
My dad took ill and we needed somebody in the kitchen, so we thought maybe a good idea for him to learn the skills, and then we're not stuck with a chef, and because we can't both be working on social hours. So I just carried on with my nursing, and he does the chefing or the front of house. It worked quite well. Just means that 2 ships passing in and I really hardly saw each other in 7 years, sort of thing, you know, until the children were a bit older. Yeah.
And now you work together. What's that like?
It can be stressful. Yeah. So I try. So I try to go and do other stuff.
So you must have grown up then with the restaurant. Tell me about being a child when your parents were running it.
Yes, I do remember. I mean, I was 11 when I came. Didn't speak a word of English. As I got older, as a teenager, I used to help in the restaurants. Sometimes before school, I get the restaurant ready and then I go to school. And really, throughout my life, I have been in and out of the restaurant business. Whenever they're busy, whenever they're stuck, I can do everything. I can dishwash, I could wait on, I could do bar. The only thing I can't do is cooking. Don't trust myself doing the cooking.
Your children are adults now, aren't they? Tell me about them and what they do.
My son is a pediatrician, so he's in London, and my daughter teaches children with learning disabilities. So at the moment, she's busy with 2 children. But they both live in London, and, you know, they've got good jobs. They have a life down there, so I can't see them coming up and taking over the business. So maternity retirement age, and I'll be following the steps in 2 years.
When your children were teenagers, did they work in here?
They did, yeah, especially my son. He was very good, yeah. Not so much my daughter, because she was younger.
You don't think that he was tempted to stick around and learn the family business?
I think he could see the social side of it. I mean, I think they like to keep the business, but not to work in it themselves. You know. If they, you know, have that desire, or they decide that they like to do it, that'll be great. But they have good lives.
Tell me about your particular style of cooking here.
Well, it's an old menu. My father devised this menu. It's something that he's always done back in China, in Hong Kong, and we've kept it the same way. I think Terry will know a bit more about that.
Take your time, Terry. I'm not rushing you.
One of our most popular dishes, which is diced chicken and celery in yellow bean sauce with cashew nuts, which I shall cook and you shall have.
Sounds absolutely amazing. Where does this dish come from?
This is more akin to a Peking style cuisine, because my father-in-law traces that. Mr. Yao, he came from the province of Shandong, and that's where Peking get most of their chefs from. But I think it's more of an individual style, which is passed it on to me, and therefore we are reputed to have the same old boring menu since 1968, and hence we have the consistency and the continuity.
Tell me what your background is.
Well, I'm a 3rd generation Malaysian Chinese born, so I came here in 1978 to study at the Northeast London Polytechnic. I was reading applied economics. So the first Christmas I was here, I came up to Liverpool. That's when I met Trader. We met in a discotheque called Romeo and Juliet. It sounds romantic, but
It does sound romantic. I want to ask you a question, and maybe we should ask away from Teresa. But did you get on with your father-in-law?
I don't think I was his preferred choice of son-in-law, but eventually they knew I was looking after their daughter, and I was also looking after them. And so I think I was their one and favorite son-in-law in the end.
What was it like being trained up by your father-in-law to work in this kitchen?
He was a taskmaster. When he was training me, I had a little accident. I scolded myself, and instead of sympathy, like, you know, he scolded me for being a silly boy, yeah, for being careless. That was it. Yeah.
Scolded by the water and then scolded by your father-in-law.
Scolded by water, scolded by my father-in-law. But thanks to him, with his strict discipline, I'm able to learn and do correctly what he wanted me to do.
so it's not your sort of original family business. Are you sad to think that your children might not take it over?
Because it's a family legacy, you know, something like Teresa's mom and dad handed the business over to us when they retired. We still have... Maybe our children should take over from us, but I think Teresa has really expressed not unhappiness, but difficulty to have a social life working in the restaurant. We do not have a social life at all. Therefore, I make friends with my customers. Most of my good friends now are my customers. So customers become my friends.
So you can't escape the restaurant with your family life or your social life?
No, but in a sense, I'm grateful for it. I do thank my father and mother-in-law for giving us the business. I could see that it provides for us.
I think Teresa would like to retire, to sell up, to stop, to start enjoying retirement with you. How do you feel?
Teresa would like to retire yesterday. I would like to retire tomorrow, but the reality is we have to keep the business going. We need to have some sort of income, especially this difficult 2 years. Just a year before COVID, we renovated the restaurant, and the idea was that was the retiring plan. We thought we could sell the business, but
Peanut butter
sadly
back
COVID
here.
came and ruined
there's a
our
sandwich.
so-called retirement plan.
Oh, it looks really good. So behind the bar, Terry, pouring yourself a glass of wine.
To unwind after that stressful cooking session for you.
Tell me what's so great about being part of a family restaurant like this?
Accordingly to what you want to do, and you don't do what you don't want to do.
Teresa clearly wants to shut up shop.
Your 7-Eleven
get on with
order
busy
is on the way.
retirement. What will you miss the most when she gets her way?
My wine drinking behind the bar. No, I would miss my customer friends. They are more friends than customers. They are my friends. And I will miss them. I've given my life, my working life, to this restaurant, and we said to let it go, knowing that there won't be any member of the family taking over. So it is sad in a way that this legacy is ending.
This isn't your father-in-law's restaurant. This is your restaurant. So this is your legacy as well.
I've always sold this restaurant as my father-in-law restaurant because it was he who started it. It's only when he retired and when Teresa and I took over the business in 1992. And I've made it my way, my style of entertaining customers.
Someone listening then thinking, well, that's the kind of restaurant I'd like to run. Sell me your restaurant as a going concern, as a Chinese restaurant. What should people know?
It'll be tough for whoever buy this restaurant or this business because the Yuen Man has its own distinctive recipe. I don't think there are many chefs who are able to cook our style of cooking.
And to your standard, it was amazing.
Well, thank you.
My thanks to Terry and Teresa Lim and to Paolo and Maria Chico. Perhaps not every family could happily run a restaurant together, but those that do can clearly create something really special and something that keeps their cultural heritage at the very heart of their food. Do you work in a family-run restaurant or food business? Tell us your stories. We would love to hear them. And let us know what you think about the show. You can email thefoodchain@bbc.co.uk or get in touch with me on Twitter. I'm @FelicityHannah. We're also available as a podcast. Search for BBC Food Chain. From me and the rest of the team, Elizabeth Mai and Beatrice Pickup, thanks for listening and join us again next week.
Chen Wei Ming makes art in the Mojave Desert.
These last 2 days, I bring my gun with me every day and patrol until dinner.
He's on guard for Chinese saboteurs, an espionage ring and its unusual targets. Also, NASA aims for the moon again. the Methodist Church's painful divorce, and all the latest news. Sunday on Weekend Edition from NPR News.
That's Weekend Edition Sunday this morning at 8, right here at WKSU.
You're listening to 897 WKSU Kent, a public media service licensed to Kent State University and operated by IdeaStream Public Media. WKSU serves Northeast Ohio through HD and on WCPM Lorraine Cleveland 1049, WKRW Worcester 89.3, WKRJ New Philadelphia 91.5, WKSV Thompson 81.1, and WNRK Norwell 90.7.
From our own correspondent after the bulletin, in Congo, Brazzaville, the landslide's coming closer.
He shows us the bedroom where he was sleeping when his living room fell into the newly formed ravine. And reacts, but couldn't get the door open as he screamed over the thunderstorm for help.
Keeping the lights on in Bavaria, how local politicians are grappling with the energy crisis. In that spokesman, it said they're preparing for disaster management, ensuring that there are stocks of emergency heating oil available for hospitals and care homes should the gas run out. And Chileans are gearing up for a constitutional referendum. But who knows exactly what's in it?
There are 388 articles in the new draft. You really need an expert to guide you through it, but they all disagree.
All that and more from our own correspondent, with me, Pascal Hunter, after this bulletin of BBC World News. Hello, I'm WS with the BBC News. Pakistan's climate change minister says millions more people are likely to be caught up in the unprecedented flooding in her country that's already claimed more than 1,000 lives. Jeremy Rahman blamed climate change for the months of monsoon rain that have fallen without respite. He said Pakistan's infrastructure is unable to cope.
This has completely upset all weather models and cropping and planning models here because the rain just came down in bunches. It came down in, for instance, the province of Sindh, which is the most inundated. And so it is 7 times more than you've seen before, and there are no gaps in it. Neither the soil, the cities, nor our infrastructure have had time to absorb it. So if you try to remove water from one area, you don't know where to put it because there's water in the next area as well.
She said international assistance would be needed with those displaced by the floodwaters requiring food, medicine and shelter. The US Navy says 2 guided missile cruisers are passing through the Taiwan Strait. China has been holding large-scale military exercises in the area to express its anger at a visit to Taiwan by the US House Speaker Nancy Pelosi. The Chinese military has said its military ships as they sail through the strait. Supporters of Argentina's Vice President, Cristina Fernández de Kirchner, have clashed with police outside her home in the capital, Buenos Aires, tearing down barricades set up to prevent a large gathering. They were among thousands of people taking part in demonstrations to support Argentina's former president, who's facing charges of corruption. From Buenos Aires is the BBC's Veronica Smith.
The vice president is standing trial over allegations she led an illicit scheme that siphoned state funds through the awarding of public work contracts to a family friend. Kirchner, who rejects all the claims, has called the court a media judicial firing squad and said they have already written her conviction. Kirchner's final defense statement is expected at the end of September, and the judges are set to make a ruling by the end of the year.
United States Director of National Intelligence Avril Haines has disclosed that her office is to lead a review of potential security risks from classified materials recovered during a search of Donald Trump's home in Florida earlier this month. Kiki Izundo reports.
This is the first known acknowledgement by the intelligence community of any potential harm that could be caused by these missing documents, which prosecutors said on Friday included human source intelligence, information gathered from foreign intercepts, national defense intelligence. The level of secrecy around some of this documentation is quite high, some of them the highest level of security and secrecy that the US government affords.
BBC News. The Libyan capital Tripoli has returned to relative calm after intense fighting between rival militias on
To Fox and the CW, and then in theory the Tonight Show could start as early as 10:30.
The move would save NBC money by cutting the number of shows it produces, as network ratings decline due to increased competition from streaming and cable. Any change wouldn't happen until fall 2023 at the earliest. Jason Nathanson, ABC News.
All right, what's with this
elevated
light?
20 more churchmen to the rank of cardinal on Saturday, formally expanding those now eligible to vote for his successor in case he dies or resigns. This is ABC News.
Have you ever thought you'd like to buy and sell houses but didn't know how or where to get the money? My name is Ron LeGrand, and over the past 40 years, I've bought over 3,000 houses without using my money or credit and taught thousands to do the same. Today, even in a virtual environment, we buy nice houses in nice neighborhoods using no banks, realtors, contractors, or other costly entanglements, and build huge...
This is not the normal exit. Okay, now it's changing. They got construction going on here. Where are we going here? Toe fungus.
It can also be dangerous. Even a small spot can spread and get worse. But no matter.
No toe fungus, please. Alright, where are we going here? Back into suburban development land. Oh, is this the street? Oh, GPS not catching up. Where we go here? We go this way. Funky little apartments back here.
The customer requested you leave the order at their door. They added the following instructions. Leave at my door.
Oh, I think it took me on a goose chase. Stupid. Well, maybe I can walk through there. Where we're at. Alright. Grab the flashlight. Be right back.
It's interesting because I took, when I was doing my analysis of the
These apartment complexes always seem to find the wrong building first. All right. It's okay. Get to stretch my legs. Alright, let's get out of this development. I think I gotta go this way to get out of here. White Oaks Restaurant, a place that's been here longer than I've been alive, I think. One of those strange country kind of fancy restaurants, still surviving, I think. Bay Village, Ohio.
Materials that we did not manufacture, maybe even some elements that are unobtainium type elements that don't really exist on our periodic chart. Well, that says it all. I think that we have a chance to make real big breakthroughs on that particular issue. It's something that you dig into in this Need to Know episode. Dr. Gary Nolan, that interview was a terrific interview. You got him to talk about not only those kind of programs, things that are covered up, but also secrets of a personal nature, experiences that he had really surprised me. I had never heard those stories before, and it surprised me that he would come clean with them, because it does open him up to a whole lot of kinds of attacks that are all too common in dealing with this subject.
You know, you're absolutely right, George, and I was nervous for Gary when he made the admissions he made. Now, before I go into that, I just want to make the point, because you're very correctly pointing out that there are people who are saying that there are witnesses who are prepared to come forward, and one element in the Gary Nolan interview that he gave me was he acknowledged that the reason that he knows that the Admiral Wilson document is real, one of the reasons that he's aware of a crash retrieval program is because he's spoken to the whistleblowers who are about to give evidence to the Congress. That's the real thing that's come out in my interview with Gary Nolan. And if that wasn't enough, he then went on to tell me that he was an experiencer himself, and that he, as a very young child, the first experience that he had that he described to me was just breathtaking. I mean, George, I know you have, but for me it's a very unusual thing to have conversations with people who've described alleged direct contact with non-human entities. But a few years ago, I interviewed a very senior official.
Huntington Beach Park on Lake Erie. One of the few places you can get to the lake. So much of it is developed in Ohio, especially. It's very hard to get to.
may have been a dream, although his body language told me that he didn't think it, where essentially there was the classic grey alien face, the big-headed, large-eyed, small-nosed, minimal-masked face of the grey alien. And he told me the only way that he realised that it was the alien grey that he was seeing as a little boy was when he finally, 20 years later, as a scientist browsing bookstores in Palo Alto, where he works at Stanford University, he came across a copy of Whitley Strieber's Communion, and there on the cover is that classic big-eyed, big-headed, small-nosed, small-masked, non-human entity, and they call them the Greys. And if that wasn't enough, he also then told me that when he was doing a paper delivery, he had an experience where he had to deliver newspapers to a guy who was on the other side of a small forest, and then he had to ride back through the forest in order to get back to the rest of his delivery. And he tells the story incredibly well of how, as he was cycling along, little Professor Nolan in shorts basically says he became aware of his shadow being illuminated from behind, and that he was being illuminated from something up above him. And when he looked up, he saw some kind of craft with lights underneath that was hovering above him in the forest. And he says, indisputable, that for him was real. Now, I admire that, Gary, and having the courage to speak out about that, because there are a lot of people, and a lot of people have, a lot of people mock this phenomenon. A lot of people say that experiences aren't having these experiences. It's some kind of delusion. And the professor, the scientist in Gary, acknowledged that the incident that happened to him when he was a little boy, when he had the Greys allegedly in his bedroom, he said, look, that might have been a dream. He conceded the possibility that it might have been a dream. But because he was awake, riding his bicycle as an older boy, I think he was about 10 or 11 years old, he told me, when he was riding through the forest, he's adamant that what happened to him was real. Some kind of illuminated object with lights underneath, hovering along above him. And then, more recent,
Avon Lake, Ohio. Let's see here. Where are we going here? Just inside of Avon Lake, Lorain County. Where's the drive? It's this one. No. This one then.
The customer requested you leave the order at their door. They added the following instructions. Leave at my door.
Big house. Very big house. Morning. There you go.
Appreciate it so much. Thank you.
Yep. Have a nice Sunday. All right. Okay, now to back out without hitting anything. delivered. This is a very big house. That's what you have out here, a lot of very big houses. Okay, let's reorganize this. I should have turned that way. There's all kinds of driveways here. There's a house out here in Bay Village for sale right now. $5 million, I think, was the asking price. All right, where are we at? Well, we're way up here on the lake. I'm gonna try and drive toward this other trip. I don't know if they'll give it to me. But if I get closer, maybe. All right, where are we at? We're way out here, and there's no work at all. So to navigate that way, let me think which way. Come on, phone. Let's see here. There we go. Okay, we have to go back. I guess so.
Let's take I-90 West and Lorraine Boulevard, Elyria.
Yeah. I know how to do that. Come on. Oh, my.
No, exactly. You heard me right the first time. The exactimate, meaning we tell you upfront the exact price for any installation or repair. No surprises, guaranteed. Call for your free, no obligation exactimate from NicholsMagic.com. That's all. Bottom of the hour. Cleveland's News Radio, WTAM, 1100 AM, 106.9 FM, and on air radio. The Buffalo Bills cut their new punter from the team after a Thursday lawsuit was filed accusing him of being part of a gang rape last fall. Matt Ariza and two others, all former or current San Diego State football team members, are accused of assaulting a teenage girl at a Halloween house party last October. The accuser in the lawsuit against the Bills now ex-punter.
I was bleeding everywhere.
Telling San Diego's KPBS TV.
They took her and assaulting me from behind.
Matt Ariza's attorney, Carrie Armstrong, to KFNB TV.
He is 100% adamant that he never forcibly raped this young lady or forcibly had sex with her in any type of way or had sexual relations with her while she was intoxicated.
Ariza's lawyer claiming the plaintiff said at the time she was 18. Chuck Stevenson, ABC News.
Fears of a radiation emergency also blocking a UN treaty that aims to prevent the spread of nuclear weapons. Todd Ant, ABC News.
Dragons are coming. Step back into the world of Game of Thrones with the new HBO original series, House of the Dragon, now streaming on HBO Max. Each week, return Westeros to the inside scoop with the official Game of Thrones podcast, House of the Dragon. Dreams didn't make us kings. Dragons did. Listen to the official Game of Thrones podcast, House of the Dragon, on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Okay, Peter, let's head over to the Barnes residence to present options and give them their final price exactment on a new air conditioning system.
Josh, I think you meant estimate.
Exactament.
Estimate. We need to give the Barnes family their estimates.
No, exactament. You heard me right the first time. We never guess, we exactimate.
Meaning?
We tell you up front the exact price for any installation or repair.
No surprises.
Guaranteed.
Call for your free, no obligation exactimate from Michel'sMagic.com.
Here's another Carmen Eats Cleveland episode.
We're at North High Brewing at 2814 Detroit Avenue in the heart of Ohio City. I'm with General Manager Mike Sullivan.
So you have the Ohio Barbecue Flatbread Pizza, Ohio Nashville Chicken Tacos, a salmon special that we have this week. It changes every week, but this week is the mustard encrusted salmon over a pizza over a pilaf, and then you have our fine pickles made with our home in-house made pickles.
Everything was just fabulous, and I'll tell you, those pickles, I was gum-dropping those. What type of deals do you have specifically on drinks to go along with all the food you offer?
So Monday through Friday, we have happy hour from 3 to 6. It's $2 off our core beers, which are all made at our main brewery down in Columbus, Ohio. $2 off our specialty cocktails, and $2 off of our wine selection.
You can log on to CarmenEatsCleveland.com, and you can buy a $50 gift certificate to North High Brewing Company for just $25.
You're listening to me for free right now, and that's awesome because it seems like they're trying to charge you for everything these days, but not radio.
That's new then. That's at 2814 Detroit. That's new. That's got to be in the Spaces, the Van Wright Coffee Building. Interesting. Have to look at that when I go by. So I wonder if it's on the second floor of that building or what. Not a car around because we're in suburbia and everybody's in bed. Except those two guys I just delivered snacks to. Take a risk here because I'm kind of closer to this other delivery. Maybe they'll give it to me. Never know. Since I'm this close now. Avon, Ohio welcomes you.
Before we go to the phone calls, I wanted to ask one more question that I don't want to forget before the end. It's about, you said earlier in our conversation, a lot of things that are happening now have happened before to one degree or another, including congressional interest in the subject matter and media coverage. It seems to me that both of those have to be maintained because we don't want this genie to be stuffed back into the bottle. The level of interest right now in Congress seems pretty strong. People like Senator Gillibrand, for example, who's insisted on the whistleblower protection. What is your sense in terms of how committed current members of Congress are to keep this ball rolling?
George, I think they're very motivated. I had the opportunity to spend 3 days in Washington, D.C., where I basically strolled the corridors and tried to irritate as many congressional representatives and senators as I possibly could to shake the walls about the issue of UAPs. And a number of them have spoken to me privately before, and most of them were only prepared to talk on background. But they've got key staffers. Like often the thing I noticed is that one of the things you look for as a journalist is where does this staffer fit in the hierarchy of the office? And often they're the most senior staffer. Often they're the people who are the liaison with the key committees like the House Intelligence Committee or the Senate Intelligence Committee or the Armed Services Committee. And they're very motivated. I was very pleasantly surprised because just before I came to America, I had conversations with people in the US who told me that, frankly, they thought that the May 17th congressional hearing with Moultrie and Bray from the Naval Intelligence was essentially indicative of how the Congress was going to allow itself to be snowed. And frankly, I was very fearful before I went across to DC that we were just going to see essentially people being muzzled. Now, what I think people don't realize is that there are going to be hearings. There are absolutely now, I'm sure, going to be, indisputably, there are going to be hearings. But they are going to be private. And I don't want to sound like an apologist for the defense or intelligence community, but let's be honest about this. If there is about to be an admission made to a congressional oversight committee that possibly crimes have been committed to conceal, let's be honest, the biggest secret in humanity's history, the fact that there is possibly alien life visiting this planet and that we've recovered technology, if that's true, I would want it disclosed in private hearing first so that the congressional committees can take evidence on what the public should be told. And then I would want a public disclosure. And I'm pretty sure from talking to people, there will be, if that's the case. And I take great heart. I was really heartened by Gary Nolan telling me that he's actually spoken to the people two people who are going to be giving evidence. And I've got people, during the course of writing my book in plain sight, and in the course of doing the podcast that I've been doing, I've had messages from people who've come in to need to know and basically said, look, you guys need to be aware that there is this program and I'm being contacted and asked to give evidence about it. And the thing I'm most terrified of, frankly, George, as a journalist, is doing anything to jeopardize that moment. I don't want to overstate it. I don't want to get too excited. I just want to make sure that the American democratic system, which I incredibly admire, I just think one of the things that looks fantastic is when the Congress winds itself up about an issue. You've had fantastic hearings that exposed the Watergate crimes. You've had fantastic hearings that have exposed Iran-Contra. As a journalist, I've spoken to people on congressional oversight committees that have investigated fairly banal things like defense fraud and stuff like that. But we can only dream about that in Australia. And the thing that I really admire is when American democracy, it's like an old battleship. It's chugging along, and it takes a long while to turn and change course. But Nightcrawling. When it does, it's formidable, and I love it when the Congress gets teeth, like the January 6th inquiry that's going on at the moment. It's important that we get to the truth of what happened to a potential insurrection against the American Congress. Whatever people think of it, it's important that we get the basic facts. And that's what I admire, that Congress is doing this and it's asking the questions, and I'm very confident that people will be giving evidence.
Good. East of the Rockies, Kathleen in Scranton, Pennsylvania. Good morning, Kathleen. You're on with Ross Ozark.
Good morning. Ross, what I want to ask is, with this UFO and UAP information, would there be energy that could be given from this knowledge? And would it change because of the electric cars, solar panels, and windmills? Would this kind of energy that these UAPs have be much more efficient than what they're offering?
That is an incredibly astute question. It's a very, very good question, because as people have told me who know the science, we are seeing in the technology that is just being displayed in our skies and underwater in our oceans and increasingly in orbit, these objects are doing what are called, what Lou Elizondo has dubbed, the former head of the Pentagon's UFO program, he's dubbed the 5 observables. They're doing hypersonic velocity, instantaneous velocity, they're displaying stealth mode, they're going transmedium, and more importantly than anything else, they're also showing positive lift, anti-gravity potentially. Now, any expert I speak to tells me that whatever is doing that, it's not showing any visible means of propulsion. It's not showing the kind of gas jet rocket emission that we're used to with rockets or gas-propelled craft. It's not showing, the heat that you get from propellers or jet turbines. Whatever it is a technology, indisputably, intelligently controlled, increasingly indisputably, that is doing things far beyond human ken, far beyond human understanding. And yes, you're absolutely right. There is potentially an energy behind that. And a lot of the scientists that I speak to tell me that the energy that propels, say, the Tic Tac from 80,000 feet to just above the surface of the ocean in 0.78 of a second. I think the very clever people from SCU, the Scientific Coalition for the Study of UAPs, they decided that looking at that energy that would be required to displace an object the size of the Tic Tac from 80,000 feet to the surface of the ocean would require pretty much all of the electrical power from American nuclear power stations in 1 year. It is a mind-boggling amount of energy. And so, whatever's propelling it, you're absolutely right, is some kind of energy that we do not yet understand.
Thank you, Kathleen. Yeah, we don't understand it, but we sure would like to exploit it if we can. So what's it the wildcard line? Rich in Redwood City, California. Ron with Ross. What's on your mind?
I was reminded of
Elyria, Ohio.
skeptic Michael Scomer. He was on quite recently on Coast, and he posed the question, the naval videos as being too poor, to really prove anything, and that therefore he could pretty well debunk UFOs. And then he went on to say that he thought that Uri Geller is some kind of a trickster, and not realizing that no less a bigger than Hal Puthoff has vouched for the scientific validity of Uri Geller. So I'm just thinking, you ought to have Impossible Puthoff and Scomer debate each other on these points. I think it would be interesting to hear. I know he once debated the late Stan Friedman on Coast. So he's more of a debunker than he thinks he is, apparently.
Thanks, Rich, for bringing that up. Go ahead.
So, Rich, I think there's a point that you're making here that's very important, which is that science, the hypothesis, the development of a hypothesis by testing evidence, by repeating an experiment, the basic ideas that came out of the Enlightenment that we now use to verify and investigate any kind of phenomena. Science is not the preserve of a group of high priests. You know, one of the problems with human society back before the Enlightenment was that we had people who decided that women who could heal people were mysterious and therefore must be witches capable of magic. And so all women were basically executed because they were using things like willow bark, aspirin, in order to cure people of pain. And so I think one of the issues that lies behind the skeptics who constantly set themselves up as the official arbiters what's not, they serve a very useful purpose. I mean, even though some is irritatingly annoying, Nick West, for example, who's a very prominent social media debunker, again, skeptic, I think sometimes he strays into debunking, i.e. he becomes a little less objective and more subjective. But I think it's important that we all be held to account. It's very, very important that we not retreat back into magic and mysticism when we're analysing this phenomenon. The only tools that we have to understand it are science. And science is a very, very good thing. But what I do think sometimes is that there are some skeptics who are increasingly setting themselves up as the arbiters. And one of the things that happened way back in the 50s and the 60s was there was a guy called Class who turned out to have associations.
Oh yeah, this is that golf course I did some work at. Never got paid.
There are people who set themselves up as debunkers any kind of phenomenon that is authentic and worthy of investigation. And frankly, I don't have much time for them because whilst we should respect the skeptics and let them tilt at the windmills and prodders and questioners, it's important that they do. I don't think we should give credence or time to the debunkers. And I think the interesting thing is we are all capable of making scientific judgments. The difficulty with UFOs, UAPs, is it's not a repeatable experiment. We can't make a UAP manifest itself and repeat the experiment for us. So a lot of the things that are used by scientists to measure phenomena can't be applied in the case of UAPs. But that doesn't mean it's not real. And what I keep on falling back on is that even in the UAP task force report that was tendered in the Congress last year and evidenced by the Pentagon, they admitted that they couldn't resolve 143 out of 144 incidents reported. Military observers. There was an attempt by the military, the intelligence services, to try and prosaically explain the phenomena that was being recorded by their pilots. And they've admitted begrudgingly to the Congress that they can't explain. People are holding themselves up as skeptics and saying, oh yes, must be some other reasons for the tic-tac being what it is, we just don't know it yet. And frankly, the videos are too blurry. And what that ignores, what they're doing, is they're being unscientific. They're not acknowledging what good people like Kevin Day have told me, which is that there was a plethora of independent, objective data, which was recorded on an E-2 Hawkeye, recorded in the computers of the USS Princeton, recorded on the USS Nimitz. Multiple independent witnesses, independent observers, facts, evidence recorded, independently verifying that an object did the things that the Tic-Tac did. And so when they, forgive me, American audience, if you're not allowed to swear in your country, but it really infuriates me because it's so unscientific. And what it displays, I think, is a willful intention to mislead. And so I think we have to hold our scientists and those who purport to speak for science, we have to hold them to the same standards that they purport to stand for. And frankly, they're not in many cases, because frankly what they do is selectively cherry-pick from the evidence, and they don't look at the totality of the evidence. They don't look at the admissions that have been made by the Pentagon in the UAPTF report, where they explain that they cannot explain this phenomena. They've obviously tested it. Explanation, and they haven't been able to find it. Let's get beyond this nonsense and accept that what the Pentagon has said is real, that there is an authentic mystery out there. So, Richard, I agree with you, sir. You're absolutely right.
See.
Sometimes the skeptics are blowing smoke up their butts.
I find that the debunkers have become more desperate as time has gone on and as more information has come out of the military and our government. They don't really know how to handle themselves. They resort increasingly to personal attacks and ridicule, the kinds of tactics that have been used against UFO witnesses over the years. The UAP task force, as Ross mentioned, could not explain 143 out of 144 cases, but you can bet the debunkers could explain all of them with the snap of their fingers. They have no problem with it because they don't have to consider the totality of the evidence. They can just cherry pick this and that, as Ross mentioned. I mean, the Tic Tac case, good gosh, when you look at all the sources of information, the eyewitnesses, these trained pilots, we spend millions of dollars to train them. We give them the highest security clearances. We allow them to fly these multi-million-dollar machines. We trust them. When they see this thing with their own eyes, and then it's confirmed on their sensors and on shipboard radars and in airborne sensors, and it's on video, what the heck? That's not enough for Michael Shermer. That's too bad. The debunkers, I think, will become increasingly desperate as more information comes out, and we'll have to look into ad hominem attacks as we go forward. Try to get, I don't know if we can get one more call in. We'll try. Okay, we don't really have the time. Ross, where do you think it's going to go from here? I mean, you sound confident that Congress, at least for now, is going to stay on top of it. We might have some revelations about crash retrieval programs. What else? Anything else that's coming that you were working on?
Well, I was really heartened, and I want to pay tribute to the guy who got it. I wish I had it in front of me to be able to name him, but I was really heartened by the fact that a very clever UAP researcher approached Kirsten Gillibrand, the senator, and actually asked her in a public function what was her position on continuing to put pressure on UAPs. And interestingly enough, she said that the pressure was continuing, that there was no lack of resolve, and she assured that individual that she was continuing to ask questions. She said that they're building the office right now. They understand what the mission is in the UAPTF, the UAP Task Force, or RO as it calls itself now. She said she's met the guy who's in charge of the office. He understands he's supposed to work with the private sector and all of the people to have all of the data and information. He's also asked to go back and look at all the archival data. So, as she said, as you can imagine, it is probably siloed in all sorts of places. So his job is to try to get access to all of it. And if he can't, I said, just go forward. If you can't get the historic stuff, get what's in the private sector. Get the private sector data, like FAA data, correlate it, investigate all the other things that are current, and create a state-of-the-art office. And he's committed, and they're taking it seriously, and they're not going to hide it, because there are so many of us now on the Intelligence Committee and Armed Services. We're going to stand by the service members who documented this stuff. They have video, they have radar, they have heat sensors, they have everything. And the question came from the gentleman who asked her this question, materials? And she says, they have it. So I'm not going to let it go. I'm 100% committed. And if you have information and want to help me, why don't I get your card and we'll collaborate? Now that sounds to me, my friend, like a motivated senator. So I'm really, really super excited that it corroborates what I've been told by staffers in editorial and congressional offices.
Ross Coulthard, thanks. It's great always to talk to you. Next time you come back, we'll have Bryce Zabel with you as well. Thank you. Appreciate it. And thanks to Sally Denton, her book, The Colony, and to my colleagues there at Coast, Michael Cosio and Donna Walker, of course, our webmaster, Sean Lodosor, Dan Galani, and Chris Boros, and, of course, George Norrie and his team. I'll be back tomorrow night with my guests, Duncan Trussell and Jeff Mishlove. Good night, everyone.
We're at North High Brewing at 2814 Detroit Avenue in the heart of Ohio City. I'm with General Manager Mike Sowen. And
So you have the Ohio barbecue flatbread pizza, hot Nashville chicken tacos, our salmon special that we have this week. It changes every week, but this week is the mustard.
What if it was polio? Would you be whining then?
Fried pickles made with our home in-house made pickles.
everything was just fabulous. And I'll tell you, those pickles, I was gum-dropping those. Eddie, what type of deals do you have specifically on drinks to go along with all the food you offer?
So Monday through Friday, we have happy hour from 3 to 6. It's $2 off our...
Because polio has been found in a number of wastewater treatment streams, and one full case has been found in upstate New York.
And you can buy a $50 gift certificate to North High Brewing Company for just $25.
Dragons are coming. Step back into the world of Game of Thrones with the new HBO original series, House of the Dragon, now streaming on HBO Max. Each week, return to Westeros for the inside scoop with the official Game of Thrones
That's
podcast,
funny.
House of the Dragon. Listen to the official Game of Thrones podcast, House of the Dragon, on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you get your podcast. Allison is perfect. I mean, she'd never tell you that. She's perfect. Allison, wait, are you texting and driving? Texting and driving makes good people look bad. Visit StopTextStopWrecks.org, brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council. News, talk, sports. This is WTAM 1100, Cleveland, home of the Cavaliers and Guardians. Our radio station.
From ABC News, I'm Todd Ant. After a Thursday lawsuit was filed accusing him of being part of a gang rape last fall, the Buffalo Bills cut their new punter from the team. Matt Ariza and 2 others, all former or current San Diego State football team members, are accused of assaulting a teenage girl at a Halloween house party last October.
The accuser in the lawsuit against the Bills, now ex-punter,
I was bleeding everywhere.
telling San Diego's KPBS TV.
They took turns assaulting me from behind.
Matt Ariza's attorney, Carrie Armstrong, to KFMB TV.
He is 100% adamant that he never forcibly raped this young lady or forcibly had sex with her had sexual relations with her while she was intoxicated.
Ariza's lawyer claiming the plaintiff said at the time she was 18. Chuck Severson, ABC News.
And the San Diego District Attorney also investigated. More fallout from the
Yeah.
Justice Department's search of former President
It's
Trump's
not
Florida
their...
nearly 3 weeks ago.
The Director of National Intelligence will conduct an assessment of any potential risk to national security that may have resulted from classified documents.
They're never responsible for their own losses.
Committee chair had pushed for a review, saying after seeing the unsealed affidavit,
Just look.
it's critical that the intelligence community move swiftly to assess and, if necessary, to mitigate the damage done.
At all the...
in New York. Lift off Monday morning for NASA's new moon rocket. The Artemis program sending an empty crew capsule into lunar orbit a half-century after the famed Apollo moonshot. NASA Administrator Bill Nelson.
This mission goes with a lot of hopes and dreams of a lot of people. And we now are the Artemis generation.
NASA officials warn the test flight could be cut short if something goes wrong. A March for Our Lives rally Saturday in Austin, Texas. We're calling on Governor Greg Abbott to call a special election raising the age to purchase AR-15s to 21. This is ABC News.
Have you ever thought you'd like to buy and sell houses but didn't know
Congress persons that defaulted on loans.
40 years, I've bought over 3,000 houses without using my money or credit and taught thousands to do the same. Today, even in a virtual environment, we buy nice houses in nice neighborhoods using no banks, realtors, contractors, or other costly entanglements, and build huge cash flow and wealth without the hassle of tenants, all without credit and little or no money. You don't need a license or experience, and I'll show you exactly how it's done. Text OFFER to 99799, and I'll send you my free training. I promise I'll change the way you think about real estate and open the door to a new lifestyle that doesn't involve risk or rehabs and can quickly replace your current income. Text OFFER to 99799, and let me show you how to take your life back and build cash flow and wealth from your home. That's OFFER to 99799. Again, text OFFER to 99799.
Fears of radiation emergency are rising in Ukraine as fighting continues near the country's largest nuclear power plant. ABC's Britt Clinette has more from Kyiv.
Fighting intensifies around the Zaporizhia nuclear power plant. Russia blocking a UN treaty that aims to prevent the spread of nuclear weapons, citing concerns over the military activities at the plant. Ukraine says Russia is using the plant as a military base. Residents living nearby desperately trying to evacuate. Antonina escaping with her husband and 2 children, describing the terror of living under Russian occupation, saying they could shoot at any moment. All it takes is a bad mood.
ABC's Britt Clinette.
Oh my gosh, this is funny. Let's see if I'll read you this or not. Who is this guy? This is hilarious. Oh, okay. So this guy is Toby Morton. He's a comedy writer. He's worked on South Park, Mad TV, many other projects. Apparently, he's got a website that's pissing some people off. Good morning, or good afternoon, Ali. Oh, it's still morning over there, I guess. Oh, this is funny, man. I love people like this. I've got to share this. Oh, of course, they're not going to give me this stupid damn delivery. This company makes no sense. Their evil computer will sit there and not give it out. This letter or response is hilarious. I encourage you to click on the GovernorGregAbbott.com website and enjoy the disturbing facts about Governor Greg Abbott. you all need to click on this website and see the facts of Greg Abbott's evil doings. This poor woman is so deluded. Oh my, my, my. Yeah, so this comedian writer's got a website that he's set up tearing into Governor Greg Abbott of Texas, who is quite a schmuck. And some woman writes him a letter. Mr. Morton, this is a reference to the domain you've stolen. Poor deluded woman does not understand how this works. Yep, he bought and paid for the domain name that he has. He did not steal anybody's domain. That's pretty hard to do. And the name of the website is governorgregabbott.com that I see you promoting on your Twitter. I'm a proud Texas woman. I see so many that work hard to make sure Texas stays true to God. You know about God, right? What you are doing with the domain and website you've created is placing evil in the lives of those hardworking Texans. Yep, a spoonful of evil. I'm just taking it right in. Your website does nothing but place doubt in the minds of voters. You're making decisions for them. Wow, she thinks people are really gullible, aren't they? Well, they are, but I suggest you also take down your donation link. The money these people donate is as evil as the website itself. I know many politicians have gotten word to the governor in hopes that this will be taken to court. You are a disappointment to Texas. Ask for forgiveness. Oh, that's funny shit. Somebody needs to explain to her how the world works. Another January 6th criminal has been given 46 months for beating police officers with a Trump flag. Send him away. Trash. That's fun. A football foible fumble turned into a touchdown pass. Jesus. I will not watch this, comma. Not all Russians are bad, but the majority that are on the internet seem to be horrible human beings, if you even want to call them that. What's going on here? Spelling. And they are the true evil that needs to be eliminated. That's disturbing. Some Russian mercenary performing at some sort of thing holding a Ukrainian skull, supposedly. Pretty hideous. Stupid app. Yep, this app is completely stupid. Jesus. Why weren't these people removed from the stands? Comma. The whole team should have just stopped playing in protest. This is hideous. What is wrong with people? I mean, what the fuck? You're on notice for being a piece of shit organization for not dealing with this immediately and exiling every single person that would have said anything like this. And quite honestly, if your team had any balls and support for this player, they would have just stopped playing in protest. What the hell? Listen to this hideous. My goddaughter is the only black starter for Duke's volleyball team. While playing yesterday, she was called the N-word every time she served. She was threatened by a white male that told her to watch her back going to the team bus. A police officer had to be put by their bench. That's just 57,000 people at this game and nobody stood up. What the hell? That's just hideous. That's ridiculous. Look at that. I'm hanging up. Figure out what I'm going to do. Thanks for hanging in, everybody. Have a good Sunday.